Hi everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Daniela. If you've never been to my channel before, I make lots of art, I do crafting, some cocktails, cooking, all sorts of great stuff. I have been into painting with gouache lately and have also been obsessed with watching gouache tutorials. So I thought I would try my hand at another gouache painting. My other two were more realistic from photographs I have taken, but today I am making a character, and if you can't guess already from the video or the title, it is Harry Potter. So I have been looking at some character studies from a certain channel, and I will link it down below, and it inspired me to want to do so. Now you'll see that I have like a shield almost, or a crest next to it. I was originally going to do the crest of the four houses for Hogwarts, but then I realized how much crazy detail they had and abandoned that idea. So I decided to do the old character study. Like I said, I'm starting with Harry Potter. I'm going to release these basically as I make them, if not once a week. And so I am starting with, of course, the main character. I will have some music playing, but I will make sure to speak throughout. So just so you guys know, this entire video is sped up 2 times. So that means it took me twice as long as this video is to watch as it was to make. So something I learned when I was doing this is to do things in layers and start light and get darker. Just so you're all aware, these are original compositions, but not every part is original. So some of these little characters that I'll paint, I just Google searched cartoon characters of Harry Potter. However, the composition as a whole is original, right? So I chose to do the cool swirling magic happening in the background. I put the owl, who's Hedwig, next to him, and I'm going to label them all by name on the bottom. I thought this would be cool. They're a bit larger than what it would be, but they felt like kind of like trading cards or something, and I thought that idea was super neat. I am just using some Reeves gouache paint from, I want to say, Michael's. It's not super high-end brand, but it's what I've got, so I have to mix colors along the way. If you see me off camera for a minute or you don't see much happening, it's because I'm mixing my colors. Also, I do apologize. I don't have the greatest lighting right now. My ring light broke a little while ago, so do bear with me if you don't mind. I thought it would be interesting to watch this whole process. The channel I was inspired by is called I'm a Wonder, and they do amazing gouache paintings and marker paintings, alcohol markers, and it really, like I said, inspired me to do what's called a character study. I think I would like to explore this more in the future as well, but for right now I'm working on the Harry Potter characters. My partner and I have been watching all of the movies lately and have been having a lot of fun doing so. So that's why I'm working on this. And it just feels so right. And this was a little bit more simplified compared to those crests. Maybe I'll get those eventually when I'm working on more gouache paintings or I get better at my technique. I've only gouache painted a few times. As you watch this video, you can show me that you enjoy it by leaving a comment or liking or subscribing. It really helps my channel to grow, and I am certainly trying to help it grow. So please do so if you feel so inclined, and I'll let you guys hang out and watch, and I will check back in a few minutes. As I'm going here, I just want to remind you I am doing things in some layers. So some of the darker parts, such as Harry's little coat or Hogwarts cloak or robe, is going to get darker with time as it dries and I do more layers. Also, I end up rounding out this image with a like felt tip pen to really get some of those darker lines in there and some outlining. I think it really helps complete the piece. This was extremely satisfying to make, but definitely took some time and patience as I figured out what I was doing. But I really enjoyed it and was pleasantly surprised at some areas how they came out sort of like foggy and different in colors, like that background I have with the blackish blue. And then like the skin tone is perfectly flat, which I was really excited about because I didn't want it to be super streaky. Let me know down below if you've ever tried gouache paint or if it's been of interest of you if it's been of interest for you, and maybe what your favorite Harry Potter movie is. I hope you're enjoying this video so far. Something I realized I was doing and that the person or the channel that inspired me was kind of bouncing around from area to area. And I think when I was doing it, it was more for the reason of like letting things dry, but it also kept me interested where I wouldn't get just bored of one part. And that's something they were saying they do and that not everybody does it, but I really enjoyed this technique and just caught myself doing it naturally. Now, I thought it would be fun to do this kind of swirling magic coming out of Harry's wand behind him. So that's what I'm building up here with just some light blues. And I really like the end effect of this. I think it ends up really cool. And it just adds to the whole image. I couldn't imagine this with just a plain background. I don't think it would have been enough. And so I'm really happy that I added this little part in the background here. I did end up adding a little bit of layers, but the white of the paper is what really made it pop as well, just because it had that pure white and gouache white. There is white gouache paint, but it's not quite as vibrant as just the purity of paper. Speaking of which, I am using watercolor paper. I had done some research before doing my first couple gouache paintings and found that that seemed to be the best outlet for it. I've got my paper taped down with some painter's tape so it doesn't rip, but so it does have some crisp edges. I measured it out so I can fit 4 images on my paper. I believe it's a 9x12 paper. And I just have it in a big pad of watercolor papers, and this is how I enjoy doing it. I also have been trying to tape down around the book itself, the notebook itself a little bit, because I notice that sometimes it will curl up, and I'm trying to avoid as much as I can the curling of my paintings when they're done. It does happen a bit, and I might have to flatten them in a book, but I am trying my best here. I think that the watercolor paper absorbed it really well, as gouache is very similar to watercolor. I look at it as kind of being halfway between watercolor and acrylic. So it's got more of that opaqueness of an acrylic paint, but that beautiful, like watery, almost flowy type of I don't know, flow to it like watercolor does. When I was in college, I studied fine arts and majored in painting and found myself really enjoying watercolors during that time as well. As you can see, we are almost done with this piece. I am just doing some outlining, and a funny little thing that happened here was I was so excited about how this turned out after I outlined it. I thought it turned out so great. I was really proud of it. Oh, and I also write his name at the bottom. But the funny thing is I was so excited, I filmed a little clip, a dramatic little clip of me looking at the picture or a scan of it. I sent my picture to friends, and they were all like, "Oh my God, this is great. I love it." And I realized I forgot the most important part, Harry's scar on his head, which is a little lightning bolt. And so you won't see that here because I will go back and film when I add that. But I realized that I was missing his little scar and his eyebrows, which definitely ends up completing the piece and making it look more finished. Here I am using just a regular gray marker that happens to have a fine tip. Oh, you see my cat getting in the camera lens a little bit there. He does like to be part of my art projects sometimes and is in several of my videos if you do choose to check them all out. Anyways, I'm using a fine tip gray marker to help outline some of that mystical magic in the background to help it stand out a little bit. I wanted it to stand out just a tiny bit so I wasn't blending in too much with the background so that you could kind of see the difference and it didn't look like some sort of weird swirling cloud. I needed it to have a little more emphasis. So something I haven't decided is if I should use that fine tip or the felt tip black marker I'm using right now to outline the whole card so that when I peel off the tape it'll be like a little square or rectangle. Let me know your thoughts on that. I haven't decided yet. So here I'm using the same little pen and I'm writing Harry Potter. I looked up the Harry Potter style calligraphy and just thought that would be a lot to fit into this area. And I wanted it to fill my kind of quirky style of my composition here. So I decided to make similar, but by using like thinner or more stick type of letters, but still have that quirkiness and wonkiness of the Harry Potter calligraphy. I think it ended up looking really cool and definitely kind of fits the look I was going for. I did practice it ahead of time to make sure I would like it. I do tend to wing things a lot on my channel. I like to just dive in and go for it, but for that I did practice it. Oh, I also wanted to mention I did pre-draw this obviously before I started painting. If you didn't notice, I just thought I would save you the pain of having to watch all of that drawing because it takes a long time and it's really hard to see on camera. This is the final result and I seriously absolutely love it. I hope you guys do too and I can't wait to keep going. I am gonna paint Hermione next and then we'll see who is after that. I've got 2 squares left, so if you have suggestions, let me know down below and I'll see you next time. Bye!